Hey, what's up, guys? Tukey here, back again with another episode of a Nation United Russian edition, of course. And today, I just woke up, so the voice might not be on point, but I'm leaving it in because I have no shame. Just kidding. I'm worried that I'm going to be relentlessly cyberbullied. Anyway, in today's episode, we go through the remainder of this season, and hopefully we find ourselves in the playoffs for the very first time. This season, it was a complete toss-up as to what was going to happen. We signed Malkin and Ovechkin in free agency. If we weren't doing that well, we trade them. If we are doing well, we potentially go for it. Of course, Ovi's on a 2-year deal, Malkin's on a 1-year deal, and we'll have the cap space to be able to, keep them next year if we want to. But the question was, where would we be? And very early on in the season, it became clear that trading our first to get Alex Romanov was a very good idea. And now that we're here at the deadline, there was we'll go with situation, the decision to be made as to whether or not giving up a forward prospect or two was a good idea, to also go out and get Dmitry Orlov, who is the best defenseman that we can afford to pick up right now. Of course, Provorov and Sergachev, they are way out of the price range for the moment, unless, of course, the team decides that they want to trade them. So, really, it's pretty simple. Do we trade or do we not? And we're trading. We're going for it. We already gave up our first-round pick. We are going for it, especially, you give up that first-round pick, you want to make sure you don't help out Montreal all that much. And then you factor in that us making the playoffs and not having that first would suck because we have to trade up anyway. And it's a risk, too, of course, to go after Orlov because his deal is up at the end of the year, but I think we're going for him regardless. Again, he hasn't signed an extension. I don't want to risk them signing him to an extension, even though they probably have the money, or probably won't. We're going after Dmitry Orlov. We're doing this. So, like we talked about at the end of the last episode, yes, there are players that we could give up. Chistov was the one that I thought we'd be able to give up, but he's developed fairly well this season. I think he'll be an important player for us moving forward. So, in terms of the guys that we have to use, it comes down to Kulemin and Volchenkov. Again, Kulemin, a year older, 3 overall points weaker than Kavanagh. When we had Medvedev and Kavanagh together, we really don't need to rely on these two as much. You could say Vishnevsky is the better guy to get rid of. Out of Kulemin, Volchenkov, Vishnevsky, pretty much only one of them is going to stay. And Kulemin's better than Volchenkov and is probably going to be. The arguments there is Vishnevsky going to go up by 5 overall points in 2 years to match Kulemin? Probably not. So I'm thinking Vishnevsky is the first guy to go here, and the problem is it might take 2 of them to pull off this trade. Vishnevsky was our first-round pick in this past draft, but I think he's the right guy to use here. The question is whether or not they have anybody of negative value. Of course, we've checked before. They ended up with Lafreniere, and the issue was that they really don't have anybody with negative value. Aside from Richard Panik, we might be able to add Richard Panik to this deal and then just probably keep him down in the minors as opposed to flipping him. Of course, he's not allowed to be on the NHL team at this point. We already have our Russian base built up. So is there anybody else that we can add to this deal? We have this gigantic group of medium bottom 6 forwards, most of whom will never be anywhere close to good. We know that at least. Let's go with, let's just see if any of these guys are worth getting rid of. I don't know, Datsuk to even it out. How close is that? Probably not, and it's not. Right. So draft pick wise, we could use our second, because we will have a prospect to use to trade up back into the first round. Of course, there was that one player in the mid-teens that we're looking for. If we just throw a bunch of picks at your face, still no. Yeah, this is going to be expensive, but, and I can't believe I'm saying this, could this team go on a run in the playoffs? Yes. They absolutely could. I think that's undeniable with the way this works. So I think we use Volchenkov and Vishnevsky here. Again, it's a major risk because Orlov might be a free agent. But as long as we might even have to use Kuhlman to trade up. But again, we still have some good forward prospects. We're going to be picking up another forward prospect in the draft who's going to be better than pretty much everyone but Medvedev out of the gates. And then we still have that decent core with Guryanov, Trenin, Kravtsov, and then who knows who else is going to be available as a free agent. So we're doing this. Amarov's also there. So Volchenkov is going to be added too. And we will safety net this a little bit. Now, obviously, there's no way that goes through. If it does, it would be legitimately shocking. We'll take out our third because it's going to be the least valuable of the two. What if we take out a fourth? What if we take out the fifth? Yeah, see, that would go through if they wanted to trade Orlov, but they don't. So we will safety net again. Will that go through? No, it will not. What if we take out the fourth? Will that go through? Nope. What if we take out the fifth? Will it go through? Just a bit low. So we're looking at two okay prospects to bring in Dmitry Orlov, and obviously we're going to re-sign the guy. Will that go through? Yes, it will. So it's a big risk. It's a very big risk, but we trade two decent prospects to bring in Dmitry Orlov to shore up this defense, despite the fact that we're still listed as rebuilders, but to shore up this defense and give us the best chance to win as possible. And that is our current defense. Unfortunately, Renat Valiev is going to have to be sent down. I think it would make more sense to send Valiev down and boost up the AHL. I don't think he'll be claimed. I would be shocked if he's claimed. And if he is, he'll end up on the free agent list next year. Yeah, Valiev wasn't claimed. There will be the morale damage, but it's better to have Valiev playing down in the AHL and hopefully boost up that team a little bit. So I'm not all that upset. And actually, not too many people were upset about it. So we'll go best lines and make that change right there. Defensively now, it's Mukhamadulian and Valiev, Tulipov, Vorobyov, and then we still have two forwards on defense, but there's not much we can do about that. And as long as nobody is scratched, who shouldn't be, we're good to go. Good stuff. Good stuff indeed. So feeling pretty good about where this team's at right now. Now, in terms of the power play, the reason why I really wasn't checking is because I was fairly confident with how the power play was set up. You know, when you do have Ovechkin in a pretty good spot, you could argue if he was where Kravtsov is, it'd be fine. I trusted the AI to set it up, although it did put Sokolov there. So I don't know. We can double check and optimize this as much as we want to. But I think what we're going to do is probably keep Guryanov on that top line. I think that's the plan. So let's go ahead. Now, a lot of people are pissed I don't have Ovi on that side. I get it. Here, I'll do it that way. Quick and easy change. And bump up Mikheyev, Tamayev. We should be fine. Let's go ahead and put Zykov over here. And then Prokhorkin will take a seat for Sokolov. Which means it actually has Prokhorkin in on the power play, or at least it did at the time. So that's not bad. I mean, a +1 across the board. Obviously, it could be a little bit higher, but that's okay. Then defensively, Orlov, Alexiev, Kulikov, Romanov, Gavrikov, Lyubushkin. I don't hate it. I mean, you could make the argument that that would give a better plus. It won't. I think we're okay. We could work this around a little bit, and I might for the playoffs. For now, it's okay. And then special teams-wise, I mean, it's tough to say that, you know, that power play could be better. It could be. You know, we could take Alexiev out of there, although he's an OFD. I'm going to leave it for now. We'll see how it does, and we'll potentially optimize it once we're in the playoffs. So Yegor Rykov is taken out. I don't totally disagree with that. 9 points for him. Gavrikov and Lyubushkin. You could make the argument out of the trio of 77s who deserves to be in the lineup and who doesn't. For now, we'll trust best lines, and it's scratching Rykov. In terms of the playoffs, if we go back and optimize the line chemistry, If it makes sense to have Rykov in, he's going to be in. But for now, I think we're okay. And for now, that's pretty much all we can really do with this team. Again, forward-wise, we really don't need the help. You know, these are all the top options that are out there right now. And then defensively, I mean, there's nothing we can do. I mean, yeah, getting Teratukin would be nice. But I have to prioritize getting that top-notch forward in the draft. I have to. So we're good. And we shall sim through a busy month of March. Now, this could blow up in my face here if we miss the playoffs. Although, you know, guaranteeing Dmitry Orlov on this team isn't necessarily a bad thing. Again, had he signed a new deal with Washington, that would have really sucked. Like, that would have really sucked. So we're going to see what happens here. We'll sim the first 3 games. We play Boston, Washington on deadline day, and the Edmonton Oilers in the next week. Either a big trade's going through for the AI, and that's indeed what happened. Tyler Bertuzzi to the Ducks for a first, second, and a prospect. Goddamn. Essa Lindell on the move to Calgary. Couple of big-time deals going through before we can even sim a day. That's crazy. Please, can we sim a day? Good Lord. How long are we going to be stuck here for? Thank you. That Coleman Stone for Connor McMichael. And a second. Kaprizov's on the move to Anaheim. This is insanity. Teams are going absolutely nuts. As I just want us to be able to sim a game. This is crazy. The AI is going insane with trades. Oh, boy. Timo Meyer and Jason Spezza to Dallas for John Klingberg. Jesus. And then Matvey Guskov gets hurt down in the AHL. That's unfortunate. We do beat Boston. We get crushed by Washington, despite the addition of Orlov. Gavrikov goes down to injury, so Rikov's back in. But we beat Edmonton 7-1. So as it stands, still in a wild card spot. You know, let's just go day by day from this menu here. We play LA next. Let's go back and edit the lines here. I just want to make sure that there's no overly negative chemistry. So make that change, and there we go. Quick and easy. The Kings are not good, but they were good enough to beat us in regulation. That sucks. That's a win that we really need to get. Gavrikov is back, and again, we will go back through here. Let's just go, let's put Gavrikov back in for Rykov. 9 points and still a -3. I don't even know if he really even got to play, but he was there. Gavrikov is back. Funny that we have the Washington tandem of Alexiev and Orlov on that top units. Minnesota, not a good team. Not a good last 10 games. Good enough to beat us. We're going to miss. We are going to miss out on the playoffs if we keep losing to teams like Los Angeles and Minnesota. Those need to be wins. Montreal is decent, and we beat them. Go figure. Go figure. Arizona, not a good team. This needs to be a win. Please. Thank you. And then we play Carolina second half of a back-to-back on a good run. Not expecting anything here. Can we get a win, though? Yes, we can. All right. 3 straight wins. Not bad. We play New Jersey. We are currently in second place in the division. We could easily catch the Rangers as long as we beat the teams that we should. The Devils are a good team. They're on a bad run, which is why we were able to jump them, and we lose 7-4. We have 11 games left this season, and right now we are proving to be rather inconsistent with the teams that we're beating. Detroit, this needs to be a win. Has to be a win. Please, thank God. Even if it's in a shootout, we needed the 2 points, and we got them. We need to beat Dallas. Not a good team at all. And we do beat them. Columbus, solid team. Terrible last 10 games. So a win here would be nice. And indeed, we get it. So right now, we're hanging in there with New Jersey. The Rangers have a bit of separation. We have 8 games to go in this season. But right now, playoffs are looking likely. Capitals are 6 points back. And we're good. We would have to really screw up to miss the playoffs. 6 points ahead of Washington with the game in hand. Whew, boy. We would have to really mess this up to miss out on the postseason from here. San Jose, bad team. We need a win. Askarov is back from injury. And we do beat the Sharks in overtime, 5-4. But a W is a W. Let's go best lines really quickly. And make the Gurionov change. Bring up Mikheyev. Zykov back over there. And then Prokhorkin will be out for Dmitry Sokolov. Defensively, it's good. It's set. Goaltending-wise, nice to have Askarov back. Baskarov. Oh, God. Anyway, Winnipeg. Good team. Meh, last 10. And we do get the win again. A shootout win. Is that enough? It's not. We're in second place. If the Rangers slip up here, though, a chance for the division title is still alive. It's going to be a very close run. The AHL team has missed the playoffs. The Rangers have clinched. We have a game at hand now. We're 4 points back and 2 points back of the Devils. So to keep pace, to have a shot at home ice, we do need to beat Tampa here, who are not very good at all. We get another win. Huge. 9-1 in our last 10. We play St. Louis. Decent team. They're going to be fighting for their playoff lives. Right now they're in a wild card spot. This would be a gigantic win for us. And we lose 6-1. I suppose that streak was going to end at some point. The playoffs are still not confirmed because of Washington, but it's all but a certainty as we get ready to play Colorado, and there it is. It is official. We are in the playoffs for the very first time. However, we are 4 points back of the Devils and Rangers, and the Islanders are just 1 point back. So seeding is a gigantic question mark, but we are in the playoffs for the very first time as we beat Colorado 8-4. We play Chicago, the New York Islanders, and the Florida Panthers. In our final 3 games, we are 3 points clear of the Islanders, so as long as we end up beating them, we're okay. But if we want a chance to jump New Jersey, we need to win all 3 games. Chicago, very good team, struggled in the last 10. We beat them 4-3. Huge win. Huge win for our 48th victory of the season as we are 2 points back of the Rangers. The Devils have claimed the top spot for the moment. We are guaranteed a top 3 spot in this division. It's just whether or not we can sneak away and get home ice, or if we're going to be on the road against either New Jersey or the Rangers. We play the Islanders, good team, battling for a wild card spot. We beat them 9-1 in our last 10 again, and we wrap up, call it what you will, the season against the Florida Panthers. If we win and the Rangers lose, do we have a chance at stealing home ice, or are we on the road against the Rangers in this series? We are where we are. We will be on the road against New York. They have the ROW tiebreaker. So there you have it. We're in the playoffs for the first time. We will be taking on the New York Rangers in the first round, the 4th best team in the league. We are the 8th best team in the league. God love this playoff format. God, the NHL sucks. Some advantage for being the 8th best team in the league, huh? Finish our season against Florida. Can we hit 50 wins? No, we cannot. So we end the season on a bit of a low note, not being able to get home ice advantage and not being able to hit the 50-win mark, but a 49-30-3 record on the year is absolutely nothing to scoff at, as we are indeed in the playoffs for the very first time. So we'll take a look at the Atlantic. It's Toronto, Boston, and Montreal. Tampa Bay and Ottawa pretty far behind. In the Central, Chicago, Nashville, Winnipeg, and St. Louis. Dallas and Detroit sucked. And in the Pacific, Vegas, Vancouver, Calgary, and Anaheim, a struggling Sharks team. They're at the bottom. Throughout the league, the Maple Leafs are the top team. We finished in 8th. In terms of goals for, we were at a 3.5, which was the second most potent offense in the league. Goals against average, though, at a 3.17, which would be mid-table, but towards the high end. Our power play was 5th best in the league. Very good. Our penalty kill, though, at 76.8%. Currently, our Achilles heel, 2nd worst in the league, but the Rangers are also right there. So we'll have to take a look at the penalty kill and optimizing that a little bit. But it's not surprising, given what our defense is at the moment. Evgeny Malkin, 96 points, 92 for Tarasenko with 41 goals, 39 for Malkin, 40 goals for 37-year-old Alex Ovechkin, 85 points on the year, 835 career goals now for Ovi. He's been not quite what he usually is in these saves. Perhaps more realistic numbers than seeing 75 goals for Vitaly Kravtsov, only 24 goals, but 82 points. Tremendous. Guryanov was great. Barbashev was great. Trenin was great. Goldobin for a third liner, that's fine. Sokolov for a fourth liner was tremendous. Mikheyev was solid. Zhikov was fine. Kamenev was fine. The offense did what it needed to do. Tremendous. Defensively, honestly, good numbers for Alexeyev. Let's look at Orlov's numbers since we acquired him. 7 points in 20 games. Ugh. Not quite what we want from him. Again, we might have to make some changes to try and optimize some stuff. Alex Romanov was fine this season, though. Again, who should stay, who should go? Could argue Rykov or Rykov for Lyabushkin. Goaltending-wise, 9-10 for Shesterkin, a 9.08 for Askarov. Khudobin was god-awful when he played, so it's a good thing Askarov's back. Let's go with that, because those are horrific numbers. Goalie-wise, Mackenzie Blackwood was the winningest goaltender, the shutout king. Jordan Binnington in Chicago, and likely Vezina winner, Robin Lehner. Based off of games played, maybe an outside shout for Freddie Anderson and Jordan Binnington. For defensemen, Torrey Krug, Cale Makar, John Carlson, Dougie Hamilton, and Seth Jones all hit 60 points. Very good for them. Falk with 19 goals led the way. And for the forwards, Brad Marchand with 99 points led the league. So scoring was down across the league, but our top players showed up. Wow, Ryan Strome was up there too, huh? Connor McDavid led the league in goals. So all things considered, our offense was phenomenal, given that scoring was down a little bit. Antoine Morand likely just won the Calder, although Reed Silvestre might have stolen it from out from under him. So that wraps up this season. However, for the first time, we get to shift our focus to the postseason. Next episode, our first ever playoff matchup, we take on the New York Rangers, Artemi Panarin, and the New York Rangers, a battle of the Titans. We shall see what happens. For now, though, I thank you very much for watching. Drop a like, subscribe, the description. Shout out to my patrons, of course. You know the whole deal at this point. Thank you guys for watching. And to note, the Patreon exclusive series that we're starting up, it does involve viewers adding, getting added into the database, into franchise mode. So it's a viewer, player, patron exclusive patron franchise. So yeah. So for anybody on Patreon, you have until Sunday to make that happen and get that info in. Goodbye.